My name is David Morton. I'm the Landscape Curator here at Brucemore. It's a 26-acre estate located in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and it's one of the few National Trust historic sites in the Midwest. And this show is about how to create this little piece of paradise in your own backyard. A day in the life of a gardener.
When you're out working on the Brucemore property, what are the most popular questions people have for you?
You know, I love this question because I love to see people wandering out in the gardens. We have regulars that are in the neighborhood that come and look at the garden once a week, every other week, once a month. There's a neighbor who comes and takes photographs of the garden every other week because it changes throughout the season. But I would say that people ask me the most about when the tree peony are in full bloom because they are so striking and gorgeous. They want to know what those are and how do they grow? How do I keep the deer from eating all my garden flowers? They also often want to know what the name of plants are, which is why they come back during this season, because again, the garden changes throughout the season, which is one of the beautiful things about this prairie style landscape that we have here on the property. So I would say those were most of the questions people ask me, or how many people do you have working out here in the busy time of year? Can I volunteer? Yes, you can. Can I help you plant? Yes, you can. It's here for you to enjoy as well as me. So I love it when people come out here and ask me questions. We're always ready to answer your questions and help you to enjoy the garden as much as we do.
Which flowers in your gardens would you say require the most maintenance?
I would say roses. You got to cover them in the winter because they'll do much better in the spring if you can cover them and get some stems to last throughout the winter. They require deadheading. I think they do better if you're feeding them on a regular basis. And I think you'll get blooms, a lot more blooms if you deadhead the blooms. Deer tend to like your roses, so you got to spray them with some sort of deer repellent. And we do get these Japanese beetles, although we haven't had them in a while, but they can be very destructive and they seem to really love the roses. So while I love roses, I think they're my most favorite plant in the garden, they do require a lot of maintenance. So just beware.
Which roses are the most fragrant?
Well, I would say the most fragrant roses are the old garden roses. I have Madame Hardy and Jacques Cartier and Rose de Rescht, just to name a few. Those are old garden roses, very fragrant. They have those peony looking blooms on them. Also David Austin. I just got this catalog in the mail because I ordered David Austin roses. These roses are a cross between some of the modern hybrids and the old garden roses. Many of the old garden roses maybe only bloom once a year, but these David Austin roses will bloom continually throughout the year as long as you're deadheading them and maintaining them. Heirloom Roses is another rose grower that'll gives very detailed descriptions of their roses and which ones are fragrant. There are some modern roses like hybrid teas like Mr. Lincoln and Double Delight, Queen Elizabeth. Those are very fragrant roses. So there's many varieties, but my favorite are the old garden roses. Those are the most fragrant in my opinion, and they look so beautiful in a perennial garden mixed with other perennials.
My basil always seems to get long and leggy. How do I keep it looking bushy?
Oh, basil. I love basil. You know, there's a lot of different kinds of basils. It seems like every year there's a new variety. The trick to basil is plant it in the sun, not in the shade, because if it's in the shade, it's going to get a little leggy and try to reach out. It'll start to flower pretty early, and so you want to keep those buds off. And don't be afraid to cut it pretty far down, 2 or 3 leaves down. Harvest it as it's growing to keep the flower buds off and to keep it looking bushy. Don't be at all afraid to trim that thing. The more aggressive you can be with trimming that thing, the bushier it's going to be. When you cut something back, it tells it to grow and it'll just keep bushing out and bushing out and bushing out. If you let it go to seed, then it's going to stop growing because it thinks its life cycle is over because it is an annual. So you want to keep it from going to flower. Be aggressive. Harvest that basil. Eat that basil. Make that pesto. Go for it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for joining us. And if your question wasn't answered, don't worry. We might do this again. Well, we will do this again. And your question might just come up. Now we're a baby channel. We've just started this thing. So if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and leave a comment. All those things help us to ensure that we can continue doing this because it's a lot of fun. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more, hit the like button, the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel.